John Moses Brunswick, the man who would build the largest bowling empire in American history, was born in 1819 in Bremgarten, Switzerland. And at 15 years old, he left everything behind and sailed to America. He landed in New York City in 1834, running errands for a German butcher. From there, he apprenticed with a carriage maker in Philadelphia, got married in Harrisburg, and eventually ended up in Cincinnati, where he spent 2 years working as a steward on a river steamboat. Not exactly the resume of a man who would reshape American recreation or create everything from bowling balls to the Magic 8-Ball to the first mass-produced snowboard. In 1845, Brunswick opened a machine shop in Cincinnati with the intention of building carriages. Then he walked into a billiard hall, and everything changed. He studied the tables, became fascinated with the game, and decided there was more money in billiards than buggies. He was right. By 1850, the company was selling tables to some of the most prominent Americans alive, including Abraham Lincoln, who purchased a Brunswick billiard table that year. The company grew fast. By 1873, Brunswick had merged with Balk, and together they were producing 700 tables a year, valued at $400,000. 6 years later, they acquired Phelan and Collender, and by 1884, the newly renamed Brunswick Balk Collender had become a genuine powerhouse. That's when bowling entered the picture. Moses Benzinger, Brunswick's son-in-law and eventual company president, looked at the disorganized world of 10-pin bowling and saw pure potential. In the 1890s, he led the push to standardize the sport, which resulted in the formation of the American Bowling Congress in 1895. The first official ABC tournament took place in Chicago in 1901, and Brunswick supplied all the equipment, a relationship that continued for the next 4 decades. Today, the American Bowling Congress lives on as part of the United States Bowling Congress, or USBC, the governing body that still oversees the sport. Then came 1906, the year that changed everything. Moses' son, Benjamin Benzinger, opened a massive manufacturing plant on Laketon Avenue in Muskegon, Michigan. The location was deliberate. Brunswick owned 1,000 acres of timberland nearby, and the site offered an easy crossing of Lake Michigan from their Chicago factories using the company's own ships. That same year, Brunswick introduced the Mineralite bowling ball, made from vulcanized rubber, a proprietary formulation that set it apart from anything on the market. For decades, bowling balls had been carved from wood, and the Mineralite changed the game overnight. By 1914, Brunswick was advertising that its ball was made from a secret rubber compound, retailing for $20, which was serious money at the time. And here's where the story gets genuinely strange. That same vulcanized rubber factory didn't just make bowling balls. It made car tires. It invented the rubber toilet seat. Brunswick later produced the Snurfer, widely considered the first mass-produced snowboard, and they invented air hockey. The Snurfer was the invention of Sherman Poppin, who created it in 1965 as a toy for his daughter. Brunswick licensed and mass-produced it, and a young Jake Burton carpenter got his hands on one, which directly inspired him to found Burton Snowboards. So in a roundabout way, the modern snowboarding industry has a Brunswick Bowling Company to thank. In one of the most unexpected corporate moves in history, Brunswick commissioned a fortune-telling device shaped like a billiard 8-ball as a publicity stunt. That's right, The Magic 8-Ball started in a bowling company. Mattel owns the rights now, but Brunswick is where it was born. Back in Muskegon, the plant kept growing. By the 1940s, it sprawled across 1 million square feet, and the testing methods were something else entirely. Workers would drop bowling balls from rooftops onto steel plates to check durability. Inside the lab, a man named Mike, who had started on the maintenance crew in the mid-1950s, worked his way up to testing balls for roundness and density. His method involved dropping balls onto a springy mat and watching how high they bounced. One day, a ball flew back up and knocked out one of his front teeth. Any ball that didn't bounce above his waist was defective and headed straight for the dumpster out back. Those dumpsters are where the story takes another unexpected turn. Employees and curious locals could grab whatever they wanted from the reject bins, and decades later, a man named Olson in Norton Shores, Michigan, just a few football fields from Lake Michigan, started finding bowling balls buried under his house. He kept digging and eventually unearthed 162 of them. Brunswick's director of product development, Billy Orlikowski, confirmed that one of those balls dated to 1953. People had been using defective Brunswick balls as insulation and fill material under their homes for years. The 1950s brought the bowling boom, and Brunswick sat right at the center of it. They developed automatic pin setters, ending the era of pin boys for good. An inventor named Schmidt had actually brought the original pin setter concept to Brunswick first, and they turned it down, which meant they had to play catch-up when AMF, the American Machine and Foundry Company, beat them to market with their AMF pin spotters. But by 1955, Brunswick's Model A pin setters were in full production. In 1967, they introduced the automatic scorer, and in 1976, they opened the first bowling center in Moscow. Booms don't last forever, though. After pouring resources into the bowling craze of the late 50s and early 60s, Brunswick found itself nearly $400 million in debt. The stock cratered from $75 in 1961 to $13 the following year. The bust was brutal. The company survived, and the technology kept evolving. In the 1980s, polyurethane cover stocks replaced the old polyester and rubber surfaces, giving bowlers dramatically more hook. Then came reactive resin in the early 1990s, porous materials that absorbed lane oil aggressively and produced the powerful angular hook that defines modern high-level bowling. Manufacturers pushed further still, developing particle cover stocks embedded with microscopic additives and asymmetric core designs that gave elite bowlers even more control over ball motion. Brunswick led the charge through all of it, and they were still making balls in Muskegon. Until they weren't. In 2005, Brunswick Corporation announced it was moving bowling ball production to Reynosa, Mexico. The reason was straightforward: labor costs. The move was expected to save between $5 and $6 million annually, and about 115 workers lost their jobs as production phased out. In 2006, the Muskegon plant closed. 100 years of manufacturing history, gone. The aftershock rippled through the industry. When Brunswick left, competitor Motive saw an opening. Their president, W. Scott Wilbur, said it plainly. When our primary customer for bowling products left for Mexico in 2006, We enacted our belief that bowling ball manufacturing in America was still possible if a business was truly focused on excellence in innovation and cutting-edge manufacturing processes. Then came November 2019. About 170 employees of Ebonite International, a storied bowling ball manufacturer based in Kentucky with a 109-year legacy, showed up for work one morning and found the building closed. Brunswick had acquired the company and moved all operations to Mexico, effective immediately. Employees received pay and benefits through January, but their jobs were gone. Hammer Pro staffer Bill O'Neill captured the mood when he wrote, "Nobody should be feeling sorry for me. The people that worked at the plant, the office, and on the road are the ones that truly need your thoughts." Today, Brunswick Bowling Products still keeps its headquarters in Muskegon with about 350 employees, and research and development still happens there. But the balls themselves come from Reynosa. Pin setters are built in Hungary. The company markets balls under Brunswick, Hammer, DV8, Radical, Ebonite, and Track. And in March 2026, they dropped the Columbia 300 brand entirely. Brunswick helped create what is now a $10 billion global industry. They standardized the sport through the American Bowling Congress, now the United States Bowling Congress, mechanized the centers, and revolutionized the ball itself, from wood to rubber to urethane to reactive resin. They also accidentally seeded the entire snowboarding industry, invented the Magic 8 Ball as a publicity stunt, and buried 162 defective bowling balls under a man's house in Michigan. That is one extraordinary legacy, and whether it's the legacy they intended is another question entirely.